So hi everybody and welcome back. This is the Unreal Engine 5 tutorial series for absolute beginners. This is video 107, and in this video we will now to implement our widget switch screen. And let's get started. This time a little bit faster than the other videos because we already talked so much about this, and now we get started. So we start we have here two widgets actually, because I create one. And then I click on this button here. Let me show you this fast. And I switch to the other one. So I have here these two widgets. And we have to probably code this in both. Or if you are familiar with coding, then you find a better way than doing this here. Like me, for example, you can make here only one function and then call it in both and change then the appropriate places. But I skip this here and make it separately because it's easier to understand, but yeah, it's also working. So first of all, we have to create our widgets. We already have that. We discussed also about this one. It is just a button, and this button has an image. We implemented this one. I think so far it's fairly easy, and then you can I start with the third person actually. Let me change this one to third person. This one here. And here you can style this image like you want. And what we implement in this video is now just this button click here. So which means I select this one. I have named it anyhow properly here. Make what you like. And then we go here to on click, because this is the place where we go. And you can see the button itself. I have, okay, this one is probably not really needed here. What I did here is I called this one in my gameplay. So like I said, I transferred all to my game mode, gameplay. So the real code will be here executed. And this one here is just the old way to do is not the best way, but you know what this is? This is just when I click the button. Let me show you this fast again. When I click here, then this node will be activated. It is called on click begin overlap node. And then it will execute all the code what comes after this one, right? So, and this node, the first one is just get all actors of class, get the first element, and then I have specified here the gameplay, so it is just creating a reference to the gameplay. This one is not necessarily needed, but from this one we are calling a function which is in gameplay. So all this what it does here is just call the gameplay here. This is our game mode. My gameplay is the game mode gameplay, and then it jumps here to the function. In this case, let me double click it. It is a custom event. It is not a function. It jumps here to this custom event, and it will execute all this code what comes now, what we are talking right now, after you click this one here in your widget blueprint. So this one you click here, it goes to the graph, and the widget blueprint sends you to the game mode. And the game mode will now execute all this code here. And the reason why I sent it to the game mode, I talked also about this, because I want not that the player can cheat. For example, they say, aha, I changed some values here in the widget blueprint. So, for example, I want not later that he can't click here attack and change the attack so that he can attack all time, or let's say we have here skills that he can't change the skills so that he can use it all time, like something like that. And that was the reason why I sent this one here with this version to the game mode. And the game mode will run only on the server. And when we play multiplayer online, something like that, you have as a client no server, which means you have not the source code. To change this, or let's say more like this one, the server will all time overwrite your code. You still can change, for example, the input, but the server will all time overwrite your input. So yeah, that's the reason. So we have covered now this one, and now we jump to the server. So I clicked here one more time. I click here. It jumps here to in this code. It calls the server, and then it jumps to this custom event, and now all this one is still fired, still connected, which means this one still is active because I clicked on this one. It's not finished. So, and now we go in, we don't start with this one, we start actually with this node. And I make this parallel so it's easier to understand, which means I click this out. So we are at this point, which means the server will see this one here. I mean, let's go here again. You click this one calls here, and still the frame is not, also the frame, what I mean is the execution is not finished, right? It goes here, and now we have to do something. And what we do is, first of all, our goal is spawn the next character. First of all, I spawn the character. Okay, how we do this, how we spawn a character. Okay, we know it is, we call spawn actor from class. And this node is spawning a character. This spawn character needs all time some settings. What we want spawn, in this case, the first person character I want spawn, because why I want to spawn the first person character? Let me show you this one, first person. I select this one, I go here. The question is why I want to spawn here the first person. Let's watch fast the widget blueprint again. This is the widget blueprint for the first person character, which means I have here this attack skills and this attack button, and then here's some skills. But and right now the third person character is active when I have this widget. That's why when I click on this button, which means I switch the characters, I want to spawn the first person character. Okay, we have cleared this one. And now we talk a little bit about the node, which means I need some settings. The most important setting is here probably the class, which we set, and this one. If you don't set this transform, which means this node is asking you, where should we spawn this in the world? That means transform. Transform is all time when we split this pin here. You can see it is the same like location, the rotation, and the scale. And if you right click it, you can recombine all the pins. Depends what you have. In my case, I split it here and I created a variable for the spawn transform location, which is not good. This solution was only fast because with this, what I did here on top, I ignored this rotation, which is not a good solution actually. And I show you later why it's not a good solution. So you should make something with rotation as well to make it a little bit better. But I ignored this one now because I won't go through fast this code here. So you understand what I'm doing. So what we do is we just split this pin. And in this case, in the bad coding, I say I just care about the location. So which means here in the world, I will define where you will spawn. All right. Then I said, because I'm not interested in the transform rotation and the scale, I need only an input here. The problem is what input I have here. And we have to think a little bit about this one later. In my case, I created a variable, and you can create here, you can go here to the left, click here this plus sign to create variables, or when you have something like that, what you can all time do is go here, how about this start point, this thing here, and then right click on it and then promote this variable. All time make this one, because promote to variable means this one becomes a variable, and a variable means now after you compiled, you must compile, then you can here set here default value here on the bottom. So you can see this is a vector by default. That's also very interesting. So when you promote this to variable, it will automatically say what this is. In my case, it's called spawn transform location. We show, you see, it is a vector, and we can set start point. What I did here on top, the same thing here. I make the same, but you can see here a difference. When we watch the right side, I put in some values. So what are these values? These values are default start values, which means when you created this default here, promoted to the variable, and we go here after you compiled, and then we go here to the defaults, and we go here to spawn transform location. This what you see right now are default start values. So when you spawn this first person character, it will spawn to 0, 0, 0. But in my case, I don't want that they are spawned in 0, 0, 0 because 0, 0 is anywhere here. This is probably 0, 0, 0 and my character will fall down anyhow. I don't want that. All right, so I find a new location. The question is how you find a new location. For example, these strange values, like I said, there are many easy ways. The one very easy way is just you can estimate a location. For example, you just say, okay, here is this rock. I go to details and I watch where the rock now is, and you go here in details to transform. You see this transform here, what you see here right now is exactly the same thing like here, only it is splitted, which means when we watch again this transform here, the splits are here, this location, this rotation, and the scale. And now you can here, when you rotate this, when you change this location of this rock, you see the hard-coded values here. Right now, let's see, when I go here down, here is 0, 0, 0. That is our start point. Right, so you can see this is almost our start point. Let's make it so. Now I'm in 0, 0, 0 here. My character would spawn when I use this one here on top, which we created. We see 0, 0, 0. Okay, and then you can just change this object here and find a position where you want, and then just write start values here. This is one way. Of course, you can make a variable and a target point. This is another way. For example, you say, okay, why not just go here on top? Let's go here to some settings. Let's go to all classes here. Careful here, it shows not that you have a search field, but when you start typing on your keyboard, it pops up this search one. And then you can type here target point if you want, when you write it right. So there pops up a target point. Click on this one and you can define, put this target point also anywhere, and use this as a reference, something like that. We will probably make this one later, but right now we continue. All right, we understand this one. Let's continue. So, and yes, so in my case, I did this one here. So we have understand it, and interesting is this node we have done because we need just a location, but this was a bad implementation of the reason why is this bad. We will talk about this rotation because I consider not the rotation, and later I show you why this was bad. But let's continue. So what I did then is I have spawned this character and I want a reference here on my left side. Let's see. I delete this one now because I have then wrong things here, and I use this one here on the bottom because this is the same. I called this one here teleport location because that was the teleport implementation. So this naming is wrong. It should be spawn location, not teleport location. That was the other implementation, which I will show you also. When the character is not spawned, it is teleport out and hide it below the scene or anywhere, and then you bring it back. But let's keep this one and continue. Call this one teleport location, and we know this one. So now the character is here created because spawning means it will now spawn in our world. Perfect. Let's continue then. What you should do all time after you spawn a character, which is all time a good practice, is promote this one to a variable. Why we promote this one to a variable? Because this character is spawned and we save this to a variable, and after we save this to a variable, we have all time access to this character's properties, which means the first person. This is third person. Anyway, this means you have now access to this first person things. Let's go to the first person character fast. And here is not this one. Yeah, this is this one. So this promote this variable means just when you have this one, and this one is first person reference, means I have now access to this blueprint, and now I can call and try to get these properties, its variables, its components here, or anything like which is available. What I mean with that, this node here is access now to this person. Let's say I want get, I don't know, something here, this mesh here, right? Then you make from this access point, and write get mesh or something like that, and you will find it anywhere when you write it, right? Not like me. It's anywhere. Most time it is on the bottom. You see here, Chracter get mesh. So anyway, this is okay. I hope you know the what a promote to variable is, and let's continue. So I promoted now this to a variable, and now we have done this one. I delete this one. I just copied this one because we did this one. This is the same. Oops, what was that? Control Z. And let me copy this one. Control C. Paste this here. Control V. Let's continue from here because let's say this is the same. And then this block is finished. Of course, if you make this a little bit more properly, you should also comment it out. I have not commented. You can here start this commenting and say called from widget blueprint third person character, so you know where this thing is called. For example, you can give it a color. I give this standard thing this one, and then you know after this one is called, all the executing code is here, and then you can comment this one probably also, and then write here something like spawn third person character at default start location, and we can write here bad rotation is not included because that's bad. Something like that. And if you make these blocks here, these comments are very important later when you follow your code, so you see all the steps. This one is doing this one is doing this one, and now we come to the next step and see what this is do. So we have spawned now our character here. What we want to do next then? We want possess this character. We have this possess node. What is this possess doing? Actually, this possess means we have a controller, and the controller is how we can move our character or how we can control our character. And we know this here when we go here to the world settings. We have all timer controller at start. We set this controller here, a default controller in our game mode. It's mine is called PC player controller. We already created this one, and then we go here and use now this possess node. I want change. This possess node means most time you want possess a character. In our case, I want change the actual current character to another character. For example, I have here here I started with the third person character at start, and now I spawned here the first person character, and I want possess this first person character. So this node is doing this one. It says I will possess any character you are defining here with this node here in pawn. Okay, let's do this. First of all, we call this possess character node. So we write here possess, okay, and then we have here, oops, it's not popping up. So what is the problem when it's not popping up here? Possess. So that's very interesting as well. The reason for that one is here, target is controller. So sometimes some nodes are not popping up because you have it called from the right place. In this case, possess is not popping up here because it is callable from the player controller. You could make this one here, this arrow here to find it. For example, now it's popping up, but if you want to understand why it's not popping up, the reason for that one in this case is you have to call it from the right place, which means you need first a player controller. And like I said, we use one player controller in this one, which is this one. And we are just, yes, we use just our one player controller. And this node, get player controller, will get actually this node what I have defined here. So let's do this. And then we write here get player controller. This one gets all time the player controller, and careful when we write this one controller, where is this? Get player controller. This is right now defined for a single player. How we can see that? You see it is just index 0, and in a multiplayer this one is yeah, not necessarily 0 here. You have to specify which player controller you want to get and then who has this player controller and so on. But right now we make the single player. We try to understand this one. That's is good for us right now. Let's continue. So I have now this player controller, and with this player controller I can call now possess, which I could not call before. You see, sorry, you see this possess node is available now. Read this tooltip, what it does. Read, of course, all time the documentation of these nodes here so that you understand them a little bit more probably. And with that said, okay, the target is the player controller because our player controller is controlling later our pawn, and which pawn you want control, this node is asking you. And this time I want control the first person character, and here I have already a reference. A reference means, I hope you know, we have talked a lot about references. I think by now you should know this. We created a reference of the third person character, and I just take this one here, is anywhere here as first person character. Yes, it is here, and we put this in because I want access this first person character. Where we get this reference here it was this crating, because I said here we spawned this one has no control, and now we possess this one here, what we spawned here. So this one is all that what we need for this part. With that said, we connect this one. You can make here a separate comment, so because these are steps, and here is the next step what we did. Let's write here possess, or you can write something what you understand, or you can something write like connect the player controller to first person character. But if you understand this word possessed, it's even easier to understand the thing here. And okay, now I wrote this one. It's not the best comment, but it's okay. And now we have, at this point, we have now already possessed the first person character. But at this point, we have many problems. What kind of problems? We will talk now in a moment. Which is, let's go here, what we see. This as first character, get location, get teleport. Teleport location again. Let's skip this step here for a moment, because this one will just is get the location. This one is later. Let's skip this one, and let's go here to this one. This one is very interesting, and this was this one, what you see now here, was on my last video where I complained that we have problems in blueprints with widget blueprints. What I meant there was that when we destroy a widget, which means is removed from parent, and then I want to recreate it, let's say later, some seconds after, it makes problem because it's referenced in the memory, and this can cause problems. And probably it is referenced in the memory because they are running, let's say, which is this? What was that? That was timers, right? So if you have a widget blueprint, for example, the skill timer, it was activated with this widget, and the widget is referencing this timer, then it is not removed from the memory instantly. It will take time, and that causes problems. And that's why at the beginners, so we are beginners, we will not talk now about this kind of stuff. And there are special nodes, and this special node is here, set visibility, and this node is targeting widgets, and that's actually what we want. And this visibility means that we have here different options. So let's do this first. So we created our steps here, we possess the character, and now we want change the widget here. So my goal is this widget here, normally I wanted just remove it, but we are not removing it. So normal. So let's see. We have here again a reference to this widget blueprint. I hope you know how to get this reference. You make it anywhere where I did it. I did it anywhere here on front or anywhere. You know how to get the widget. Like all time, this node you get all actors of class, and then you can get a widget and make this reference. And after you create this reference, let me get this one, you copy it down here and show you something. Normally what you could make is remove from parent, right? This one will not work in our case. That was the thing what I said, don't use this. It made problems. Let's call it this way. There are probably some workarounds and some solutions, but I have not spent enough time to solve this. So instead, instead I found this solution, which is also good, which says we can set the widget what we have right now here. Oops, not this one. This one we have now right at start in our start screen, right? We can make it not visible, right? This is more or less this set visibility node here. So we say you want not visible, okay, set visibility, and this visibility node has here some options here in visibility, but careful when you read here, we have here different kind of options. You have to read this in the documentation. What we are using is here is hidden and here is collapse. Normally you would say, oh, I want to make it not visible, is hidden, but careful, this one works but not like we intended. What it means is if you use this hidden, it will make the widget here indeed hidden, but it will still use behind the scene the place. But I can't go too deep now in this one because I have to make a demonstration. So instead we are use collapse, which means all what you see more or less is gone, and you can exactly use this place where it's gone again. Hidden, you can't use these places anyhow, it will block. You have to watch this a little bit in the documentation or on other widgets. So we are using this collapse, which means this widget is gone, but only hidden behind the scene, and that more. It's not gone, it's like removed from parent, it is just collapsed together, which means it's still active behind. It's not active, it is still pushed behind the scene, and you can activate it later. And all right, we do this. So, and here I do this. So that's my next step. So let's go here to this one, and here we set again set visibility, and this node is actually the other widget blueprint which I want activate. So this one was the third person character. This is the widget where I am. I want deactivate this one, but I want activate now the other widget here at this time. Let's go here to my widgets. Here's character widget, and here is my first person widget. Now I say this one I want activate. You see it's a little bit different. No controls, of course you can style it absolute total different. I was only lazy because I copied here this one. It still looks similar, but this one must not look similar at all. So let's continue. So what I did with the next node, very simple. The same like this one, only the reference is now for the third person character. I created there a reference, and I said, okay, we activate this one. All right, here the other one I activate, and how you activate it, you get the first person widget now, and you set this one to visible. So I use collapsed and visible, and you should read this one in the documentation if you have other interesting setups here. So that's this block here, and let's see if I need this one. No, we are finished now switching the widgets here. Okay, this is my block where I switch just the widgets. Let's comment this also and say switching third person to first person widget. Okay, that was here a little bit. So I set here switching third person to, and let's make this one also more visible here. All right, I switched this one to this one. Perfect. let's go to the next step. And you see the blocks are all time has its task. This one calls this one, make this one goes to the next one, makes this one is switching the widget, and let's see what the other things are doing here. So I go in, and then here we see the node destroy actor, okay, and I start destroying something. And that is, and the reason why I destroy something here is because I spawned the first person widget, right? But the third person widget, the first person character is at start active. So I said at start, when we have this, let me show you, when this third person widget is active, I have probably also active my third person character. And now I want to get rid of the third person character because now I'm using the first person character. And that's all about this one. That's why I'm going to destroy now the third person character. In my case, it's the infinitive warrior, which let me compile this, which you see here at start. This one, this guy I want to destroy. When I click this one here, I switch this widget, and now I'm going to destroy this one here. So let's do this one. And it looks a little bit strange why I have here so many destroys. And that's a little bit strange. Normally you would start with destroy actor. Let's start with this one here at the end. And you would say destroy actor. All right. And then, of course, you have to specify what you want destroy. And I said, I want destroy this third person character because I spawned, when I click here, I spawned the first person. So I want to destroy this one. And all time think about it. You need a reference now to this one. And we created a reference before where I am here. So I can't use self. I need find now this reference. Where's my third person character? In my case, it's the infinitive warrior. So I would get this one here. I would connect this one. This is the character which I'm going to destroy. But when I watch here, I have set up here other things. The problem with my setup is this one works fine, but here I have spawned on my infinitive warrior some components. Let me show you this fast too. So I go to my first person, no, this is not to my first person character. I go here to the world settings. I go here to my third person character, which is the default start. I open this one up. And I go to the viewport. Here you see nothing, right? But when this code starts, it will execute this kind of stuff here, which is spawn weapon on right hand. We have talked about this one, which means just I will spawn actors and attach these actors to my character, which are these weapons which you see here in my head. Let me show you what I mean with that. Normally, let me show this first. Normally, you see my character here has nothing. Why I have here two, I don't know. So normally I have no weapons here. You see this. But when I spawn this one, this here will spawn weapons now, which are this one here. You see now here my character has this weapon and this weapon. And that's a problem. And why is this a problem for destroy actor? This destroy actor, like I set it up, is just destroying the actor, which is the infinitive warrior, which is just this one, but not the weapons attached to this one, because they are spawned later. And I have not found this child component destroy setting on the fly, because I make these videos on the fly, which means I don't spend too much time to research how to make them properly. It is just so basic understanding. So let's continue. What I did then is, okay, I still need to destroy these weapons. If you are not destroying these weapons here, let me show what happens then. Let's connect this for a moment here on top, which means I go here back. Let me connect this one here fast. And you can, of course, skip this one here. Let's say I skip this one here. Oh, not this one. Can keep this one here. And let's say I skip this one here. And something like this happens. Now I connect this one here, this, and start that. And here, here's my character, all fine. And I press now this changer. I go to my first person character, bang. all looks very nice, but the problem is, you see the weapons here, they are still here. And that's the problem. They were spawned but not destroyed. And that's why, let's go back. And that's why I go here to the gameplay. Let's connect this back. Because I need separately destroy these actors here. And how I did this, I get a reference to this created when they are spawned, these weapons here. Because this one gets spawned actor, which is this weapon, and then they get promoted to a variable. And I said, okay, I need this variable because I want destroy this variable, this spawned actor. And if I have this one, I destroy this. And here I created this one variable here, and you see SBP Infinitive Warrior is the reference. And this variable was created in this Infinitive Warrior, so I can call this one, and now I call destroy actor, and I did this one. So, and the same for the second weapon. This is weapon 1 because I spawned 2 weapon. This is weapon 2. I destroyed this one, and then I destroyed the actor. And here one more important note. I think important note is the order here is very important. So you can't destroy the actor first and then destroy the weapons. The reason for that is if you destroy the actor, all these other actors are not available because you are destroyed this reference here more or less, and then it will complain I can't access to this weapons because this one is destroyed pending kill. That's why it's important that you destroy first the weapon, then this weapon, and then this at the on the last. All right, so let me copy this one here and write it here down. So, and then after you did this one, something like that, you can comment this one out as well, and you can say this block is just destroying. Okay, we comment this and say destroy third person character and his components, something like that. And then you can again make here this one nice. And yeah, we are almost finished but not finished. I skipped here some sections which I have not showed you. And what is the section? Of course, we have not talked about the spawning, which was at the start, right? I said you spawn here this location, and we have to talk. And at start I said you define here the spawning location, which is a default spawning location. But what does this mean, default spawning location? We have a problem, right? So what I mean is, let me show you what I mean. What I want to do is I walk with my character. Now I'm, let's say here at this point, far away from my start point. I want click this now, and I want spawn exactly at this point here where I am, and not my random point where I defined at start, which is this one here. This one I defined here at start, so I don't want spawn here again. All right, so we have to find a way to do this. All right, and how we are doing this, and we are doing this very easy. And this one, we start first with this one here, I think, which is, it says get the first person character here. Why I have here first person character? Anyway, get actor location. All right, this one we start not with this one. This one is for later. We start probably then with this one. Sorry for that. Because this one is a resetter. We will see what this one is in a moment. We start with this one here, and we have here some strange setups here. Let me explain what I do. First of all, when we start with this one here, we need this Infinitive Warrior. I want his location. And why I want his location is, like I said, let me show you this fast again. I walk here around. Now this third person location is here, right? Not at the start. And I want this third person character's location here, because when I switch, I want the first person character here switch here at this point. That's why I need first his end location. So at this point, that's why I say, okay, I need your location when I press switch here on this button. Exactly this location I need where I'm going to destroy you, more or less. All right, that's the reason why I made something like this one. I said, okay, get actor Infinity Warrior. Let's do this. Let's again, the reference, you see we are working all time with the reference here. And then I said, okay, this character, get me his location because he moved anywhere. Okay, get me his current location. Get actor current location. It's not working. Get actor location. Okay, get actor location. It's called here get actor location. Okay, now I have his location. And then I said, good. This teleport. And now we have a problem. This is the location which I need, but this is the start position what I have. So how I can connect this to? And the question is why I can't not just get this actor location and connect it here. I don't know. Perhaps it works. I have not tested it really. But the point is, at start you have here a start location. I spawned this. And later, I want just the actor location where it is. So then I said, okay, we set this teleport location here to this one here. So what I made here is I get this teleport location. It is a spawn location. Keep this in mind. It was bad naming. That was for the teleport version. And then I said set here and set this one where I want to go. So. And when I connect now this one here, you'll see what happens now. What I did is now something strange. This is, wait a minute, what the hell I did here? I get the actor of Warrior's position, okay. Then I get his location, okay, and I set location here, this teleport, this spawn location, and then I use this one here again. Why not just connect this one here? And here we have something strange again on top that will explain us. So what happens here is there are problems. I think I skipped showing you now these problems and show you only this solution because this video is already long. That's why I show you just now the solution. The solution is just this one. We need to set a check because at the start here I made this one here, and so let's make this one here. Let's show this one. We start again with this Infinity Warrior, and then I check here is valid. And interesting is this node is valid. Why I need here is valid. Perhaps this one is not valid. So it says perhaps this one is not valid at this point. And if this one is not valid at this point, you should just go here and connect this one here. So when we check now this node is valid, is all time a reference checker. In this case, it is checking this rated SBP Infinite Warrior if this is here. If this is not here, for example, I don't know, when I start this game, if this warrior would be not here, that would be wrong. It's not valid. And then it would skip here and go here and spawn this one here. This is just a checker, something like that I did there. And this is the first thing. And then if it's valid, I said, okay, now you are valid. Then you can set this one to this location. Let's make it so. And yeah, let me see this one. And you can see what I did then there. If it's valid, I said something like this one. I should explain this a little bit more in detail normally, but I think it's okay. So this reference means if this is valid, go in, set this location, because this one exists, and you can get the location. The character is there, you can get it, and then you can set it, and this one can spawn at this position. And important is here probably something what I have not mentioned. We want normally when we click, don't forget, when I click I want the first person character, but this one is checking, where is this again? Here, is checking the infinitive warrior, so it is not checking the first person character. If this is valid, it says, okay, it's valid, it's still not destroyed, go in this place here and then use this one. And if it's not valid, which means this one is probably destroyed, then you can go here and use this one with this default setting. That's more or less the meaning of this one. Let's continue, and let's write here also something, but this was this made not so much sense, but whatever. Let's go write a comment. Check third person character reference for valid, and set no, let's say check third person reference and set location and set location, something like that, which makes more sense. Let's continue. So you check here if this is valid, and depends on this one you set the location, standard default values or current point of the values. And yeah, let's continue. And then we need one more step here, and this one more step is this step here. Let's go and make here a little bit room. And this step here is, again, I get the first person character. Careful, this is not the same like here. Here was the first infinity for it, the third person character. Here at this point, after I possessed it, I say, okay, get the first person character, get his location, and set this one to teleport location, spawn location, which means what I literally did here, this one, the place here is not probably important. Is it important? You can do it anywhere, I think. But what I did here, I get now, let me copy this one here first. Copy paste. So I get the first person character because at this point of time, let me show you this fast too. At this point of time, I switched. Now I'm here, and when I'm here at this thing here, I won't get this location here from this character. And the question is, wait a minute, why you won't get here the location now from this character and set it here? And the reason for that one is actually not clear. Why I won't do this? I don't know. The question is, I don't know. No, probably anything get actual location, because normally you set this one the next spawn point, but you want this, do this normally when you want destroy something. Okay, let's continue. So I get this location from the character. Okay, get location again. I hope I don't run wrong here. Get location. What's going on? Why it's not working? Also, okay. Actor location. Get actor location. Here it is. And now you say I want this location, and I want set to this to the spawn teleport location. It's a spawn location. And yes, and then you have this one, and we connect this one. The question is why I did this. Right now I don't know it actually, because I don't know. I have to see why I did this one more time, and yeah, and see why I did one. So this one is, I don't know why I did this here at this point, but this one is getting the first person character's location, and it sets to the next spawn point. And now we try to understand this one in the next step. But before we do this, all the step here I write comment don't know right now. This, and then we color it not this color because I have here a problem. Let's color this one here, this one, don't know right now. And let's figure this out in a moment. So I connect now this one to my code, which works anyhow. There was a reason, I don't know why. Right now I don't see it, but it's okay. So, and now we test this out. So what happens is here, I go here to this one, I start, it pops up here, it start this one, it's all right. And when I click, wait, I walk now, let's say I walk now here behind the stone. Let me show you something. I walk now behind the stone. When I click now this one, I expect, and let's make a rotation. Let's walk behind here. And when I click here, I expect that that this character is disappearing, destroying, that the first person character is popping up at this point, and I expect also one problem. I have not implemented the rotation. I said that was bad. I have just ignored this rotation here, which means this rotation what I have right now here will pointing probably the other way around. And let's see if this is true. I click and you see I was here normally and it's pointing now here in this direction. That's the reason for that one is I have not implemented the rotation. That's you can add this and then we can attach this and then we can go and I can switch here again. So this code works. The only question is here, okay, what is now this location with this teleport here? I have not figured this out why I did this on the fly, but it has something to do with setting up the location. We can go through it fast. I hope it takes not too long. It takes really long now, but let's check this. Let's make trying to solve this error if we can. I don't know if I can. So first of all, let's see. When I press this, let's see, when I press this button here, what happens is it jumps here, right? And then it jumps here and it says, it checks if this infinitive warrior is valid. So it will check here. If it's not valid, it will set the target location to anything like that. And probably this one is not useful at start, but this one will be useful later. It get this warrior, get actual location, teleport set, and then it will set this one. And let's see what happens here. BP infinitive warrior. Here it gets the first person character. It sets here the location. Yeah, the teleport location. All right, so I'm not sure about right now. Anyway, I stop here. I watch this offline again. What I did, I forget it literally. Like I said, I made this code here more or less on the fly, not really thinking too much about it. But I hope you understand this anyhow. This code is working. And one more thing, this was only for the one way, which means when I go back here, I start here my widget, I click on it. This is now the way to the first person character. Of course, you must implement now all this backwards too, which means when you click here to the third person character, it's going back to this point. All right. I think I will talk about this one in the next video again. So explain a little bit probably what this is, what I don't know what I did there. But yeah, and then I will show you probably the other way too, which is here the third person character. And yeah, this is just the same, by the way. That will be very fast, so don't worry. It's almost identical. And yeah, it is identical actually, and that's why I said you probably can use only one function here and to change it to some references, but perhaps this one is still faster than using one function with changed references. All right, with that said, I hope you understand it. Of course, there is a lot of work involved, which means this code is not perfect. This is just more demonstration code, which is so you get an idea. But the nice thing is it works now. I can change it. I can. The one thing I want to show you is probably, where is the weapon here? Have I destroyed that? Oh. Ah, here is it. Ah, okay. Now here is the weapon, and here is one problem, and you have to implement this as well. And when I press here destroy and go back, this weapon is disappearing, and this is not so difficult to solve. You have check if your character is equipped, and then if this check says yes, my character was equipped with a weapon, is a branch. And if this branch says yes, then you spawn your character again with the weapon. So I have skipped this solution. That's why my character here has no weapon now and will cause now some errors. Perhaps no, it's not. But okay, I think this video was very long. I hope it helped a little bit. It was coding. It was not perfect, but it shows you it works. And the nice thing is here, we can make this not only with first person character here, we can make it with all what we want. I can switch to, I don't know, a car. Next time we can implement perhaps a car here and then drive it around and so on. But I think you get the understanding. You see I have some problems here because this actor, like I said, yeah, destroy actor, and that was this weapon, and so and then you fixed some errors. These are just, yeah, like I said, it was on the fly. And with that said, if you have any question, any complaints, like all time, write it in the comments, because it's not so easy for beginners. But if you have a little bit basic coding, I hope it's still doable. And good luck and bye.